Okay, so I'm talking about and writing about the Lost Paradise.
That shit looks cool.
The dreamland of like it's a Jungian thing once again, like every fucking, and it's not something I got exclusively from him. Like fucking James Moody wrote about this. Every culture seems to have, like, it's not just a place necessarily after you die, although often it is discussed that way, but just like, the place of plenty of milk and honey, fucking heaven.
What the sun
really
never
Nirvana
sets.
is really the most actionable plan I've ever found as Buddhist, where it's all mental and you can never find, and there will never, you can't. Desire's the root of all suffering, all that shit. You just need to free yourself from desire. But we're animals that need to eat, and I don't think the middle path works either. It's just life's a bitch, I think, is what it essentially comes down to.
Hear me out. As a white guy in America, I understand the appeal of Buddhism, but like I just don't feel that way, you know? Like I like how it appeals to my sense of like moral ambiguity. Like it appeals to that sense of me, but to anything in my life I hold any true meaning for, it robs that meaning out of it. So it's like, it's all or nothing for Buddhism for me. And I'm like, I'm not giving up everything for it.
Well, it's supposed to be the middle path. That's the whole point is Siddhartha Gautama, he meditated under a Bodhi tree for, I forget how long. And, he fasted and he just meditated and he did nothing else. And then at the end, his enlightenment was... you don't got to do that shit. The goal is not pure asceticism. You simply need to train yourself to abstain from desire. It's not living a life on a bed of nails with no food or water. That's not the secret to happiness. I find the idea that desire is the root of all suffering to be very compelling, but also I couldn't have a YouTube channel that abides by the Noble Eightfold Path, for example. It's being constantly unsettled.
Desire is the root of all suffering just doesn't consider every factor, though. I mean, like, if we go outside and I stand in front of that yard for 10 hours, I will get cancer eventually. I didn't desire to stand out there. I had to stand out there and do
you're jumping
stuff.
to these extremes.
That's not an extreme example. That's a very basic example that all Americans, all people, all of Earthlings deal with. The idea of skin cancer, And that's not a direct response to our desire to be in the sun unless we're tanning. Like it robs the randomness and chaos and entropy of the universe in place of human thoughts and philosophy, and that's my issue with that. Like, desire is the root of many, many terrors and horrific things, but I don't think it's the root of all of them. I think we both know that.
I just can't help myself while I'm editing this. It's unimaginable to me. Boy, I did not press Wolf on this stupid point. This is the most absurd shit I've ever heard in my entire life. You have every right to disagree with me and my perspective, but yes, if you intentionally hurt yourself, you will be in pain. But I don't understand what he's trying to say here. Also, the dunking on Buddhism as though it's this generic white boy bullshit actually drives me insane. This is something I've been into since I was like fucking 12, and whenever I bring it up, universally, the white boys be like, they act like this, frankly. So it actually is pissing me off. Next time I see Wolf, I'm gonna slap him right in the fucking nuts. Don't worry. I'm now mad. This is gonna be the worst podcast. Motherfucker. No, I think particularly since you also have a background in addiction or drinking in particular.
Yeah.
That you can relate to, like, I'm actually quoting the Handsome Family. There's only so much wine, or there's never enough wine to save you from the bottom of your glass. I think that's pretty common. Doesn't matter. But,
is that Marlon Manson's family?
What? The Handsome Family, they're a band.
I thought you said you quoted the Manson family. I was like, what is... What?
The
Why?
intellectual and gentleman. Charles Manson. Mm-hmm. It is. So let's actually get back to what we were yelling at each other about the second you got here, before I could get the microphone set up. So I was talking about this Jungian thing, the constant, like this seemingly universal desire that we all have for like paradise, the land of milk and honey, where everything is nice all the time, and that it often seems to exist in the past in like this collective mythos. Like every myth has like this
Paradise
land and
Lost.
time. Yeah, Paradise Lost, exactly.
You
And
hear that a lot, yeah.
and it being in the past is maybe something that I can't quite deal with. But the basic idea of a place where everyone doesn't have to fight all the time and everything is nice and no one has to want for anything. I think it might just be a projection of. What are you pointing at? Oh, Ellie's calling. I can talk to her later.
A projection.
Ellie, you called me during the podcast. How dare you? While I was intellectualizing. Motherfucker, where was I? Ellie ruined the podcast.
Just call her and bitch her for 15 minutes.
No, it's...
Intellectualizing the idea of paradise, especially of something in the past.
No,
right?
what I'm trying to say here is that I think it's just a projection of our animal, our id shit. Just our animal, like, we are just animals, and it's the same way that a tiger can't really conceptualize a place where the prey doesn't run away. Like, it can't imagine that, but obviously we having a higher intellectual capacity, we can imagine that. But it's just that. It's...
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt yet again. We literally did make a world where the prey doesn't run away. Which we certainly had to imagine first.
A projection of our basic animal drive to survive. So we all, no matter, all these cultures independently will arrive then still at a place where no one wants for anything. It once again is desire, like pining for something that is fundamentally impossible. And also this ties back into this other shit. That, once again, coming to these... I talked to you about this before the podcast started. Coming to these fucking notions that I think are correct. I'm not saying they're just because I come to a conclusion. It's objectively fucking right no matter what. But I come to these conclusions that I cannot... I can't dissuade myself of, so I tell myself no, I just can't believe that. I just can't live with that truth if it's true.
There's nothing
but
wrong
that
with,
hope, but no, hope once again just being a projection of our basic, or it's where our basic animal need to survive meets our human ability to, like, you know, conceptualize all this stuff and intellectualize all this stuff.
I think it's a great description of hope.
Yeah, no, it's just that. It's just like an animal that just won't let itself die. Despite it's a dog with one leg dragging itself to the water hole because it's thirsty. It's still gonna die.
Yeah, but
and that's not hope. What's happening? It's just the animal that needs to.
We've gone beyond that, is what I'm trying to say. It's like we don't have hope, just hope anymore. Hope is the saving grace of an animal. We created something better. We have something called faith. Faith is what we need in place of hope in this circumstance, right? Like, faith is the ideal of believing in something that doesn't really have tangible existence, right? Faith is the idea of believing in something that could occur. It's the idea of believing in the things that aren't going to happen and all that, or potentially could happen and all that. Hope is grounded in reality. Faith is not. So, like, it seems like... I don't know. In search of faith seems to be what you're really going for right now. I don't know, because clearly hope is not the thing pulling you out of this corner.
But hope isn't beautiful, is what I'm trying to say. It's just sad.
Is it? I think so. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful.
It's just a dog dragging itself to the water hole so it can drink.
And it lives another
because
day.
It has nothing to do with the dog's willpower, or I guess you could say it's will, but like that will is just to survive so it can procreate and spread its genetics. Like, there's nothing beautiful about that, I don't think.
I completely disagree. That's beautiful down to the cellular level, man. I mean, it's a creature that, whether it's because it doesn't have the ability to, whether it's because the circumstances it was in, or whether it will never be able to do it, it just can't deviate from that. It has to go and drink that water. It has to go and try to survive. And as someone who's been around lots of older dogs, same with you, eventually they do give up. They do give up. All animals eventually give up. They have their own versions of it, whether it's trained or whether it's because they physically don't have enough energy to go on. All animals give up. Like it's a crazy notion to assume that they all have this idea of animalistic hope, right? Like, they all have to eventually because we run off of
giving
energy.
Are you saying giving up is the same as dying?
No, giving up is just they physically cannot move on because they have no more, like, mental capacity. They have no more calories. They have no more energy to move forward. Creatures just stop moving at one point. Like, a dog will stop moving.
I've owned dogs. Yeah, eventually their legs hurt too much and you got to go put them down.
Yeah, but they still live. They're still alive during all of that, What's going on in a dog's thought during them when they're, like, under the trailer,
Well, yeah, I mean, eventually losing hope doesn't mean that hope doesn't exist.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like I struggle. I just don't see what's beautiful about it. It's just basic. It's
Maybe don't look for the beauty.
no, beauty's all I got because once again I was born alone and I got nothing. So it's just all I've ever had. That's why these things are of such importance to me. It's because like I don't really got other shit. Like when your family is fucked and when you're just sort of kicked out of the collective tribe, really all you got is like the art. I don't want to say philosophy because I don't really read philosophy. But you know, it's all you. It's the day is really fucking long and tedious, and all I got is the sunrise and the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Just these little things, and it's. I don't really see what's beautiful about a cell. I don't know. It's all. I live for beauty because that's really all I got. And
I mean, I can't tell you what is and isn't beautiful. I mean, I like a system, an understood system, where you can kind of like see what causes this to happen in a closed net. I mean, that's what I like. That's why I think a cell is beautiful in that sense. But yeah, that's I don't know. It's just that like I like to break it down to this weird biological ideology, right? Just because like the second we introduce any form of fulfillment or emotional capacity and all that, it becomes so much harder. You know, it's harder to discuss.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is life it's a constant struggle. The dragging the dog dragging itself to the water hole. Like I'm not going to propagate my genes, and I don't want to at this point. And it's lacking. It's wild to me how many people can live solely in their id. Like I maybe I'm just not seeing their rich inner world.
Are you reading Sigmund Freud now? Like, why are you talking about id
I'm
and
not,
super ego? Like,
well,
what are you talking about?
Jung was a student of his, and he wrote a lot. His thing was
Man in Search of Meaning. Yeah.
Well, it's certainly you need one, but it's I don't know. I don't think life will ever deliver to me enough.
I mean, as an
like
addict,
desire is
I
the
agree.
root of all suffering, but what I desire is always just fucking meaning. And you know, whenever I completely give up the search for that, which I eventually do, like that's what's got me concerned about my sobriety is that, because it's like I'm back here to this place where I can't find it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, and I try to find it in work, and sometimes there's a bit of it. I definitely, like, before you got here, when you got here, I was like, I'm cooking, because I was really cooking. I finally got the outline, I think, for the essay about what?
I'm just looking to the left, and I just see a big old document open in, like, black border canvas, and it says Women Feminism 1 PDF. And I was like, oh, having a good day.
No. Well, actually, I was thinking about that in history class. We're doing the history of women's lib, and I just fucking... It's funny how lib just sounds like a dirty word. I'm so fucking internet brain. Lib.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
Fucking all these libs out here fucking talking about women having the right to vote. It's sickening.
What's that shit you call it?
But it's just funny, the collective human experience. It's like James Baldwin, he had a little quote about that. If I'm not lazy when editing this, I'll come back and I'm basically making myself by virtue of saying this. Now I'm going to be pissed when I'm editing this. It's like, oh, this motherfucker. Now I'm going to have to go back so that I can say I'm not lazy. Here's the quote.
You bitch. You think your pain and your heartbreak are unprecedented in the history of the world, but then you read. It was books that taught me that the things that tormented me most were the very things that connected me with all the people who were alive, who had ever been alive.
But it's funny that, like, and I'll feel that with, like, Apache. I'll feel that with Aztecs. I'll read, like, a Aztec poem that won All the Earth is a Grave and Nothing Escapes It, which the essay will continually come back to. Like, how we all these different people in all these different times all having the same struggle. And once again, that search for meaning, just coping with mortality and impermanence and struggle. And, like, what is this struggle in service to? And I find that beautiful. But then a woman will open her mouth and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. It's awful. It's not right. It's not.
Well, what are they saying?
Cannot.
What are they saying?
Well, a different version of similar struggles. A lot of their struggle comes back to because so much of my childhood was like the sexual abuse and the minimizing of it, which is very much a woman's struggle. And yet perspective specifically, except for Maya Angelou, who was an angel, who we didn't deserve. I don't know what it is. It is very much... What I'm saying is that I'm biased against women. It's not reasonable. It's not fair. But I just am.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever shake it.
I think both
because
you...
they were the ones that did most of the not most...
Cobbler, to clarify, you were personally affected by a very select few terrible women.
Yes.
You.
No, yeah, no,
Yeah.
and it's not... and it's also not fair to put on half the population. It's not fair to blame half the population for a select few BPD hoes that God saw fit to throw at me from the moment of my birth.
Those tackies eating bitches. Yeah.
They be eating hot chips and lying.
With their Cookie
and
Monster
making my life an
sweatpants.
unrelenting horror. And that's not their fault. And it's just it's an impulse that I definitely need to curb. I wrote about this in the script for part 2 of the Apache stuff, but I'm definitely gonna. It's too long of a tangent. I'll have to remove it. It's about this Apache warrior woman, Lozen, and it's essentially me saying a historian should be open about their biases. And I'm biased against women. And I want them to talk less. And it's not fair.
You should research Frances Perkins.
Who's that?
Frances Perkins is the woman who kind of influenced the beginnings and our current understanding of the Department of Labor and Bureau of Labor and all that, which actually had meaning 100 years ago. But the institution of the 40-hour work week, basic rights that you and I have as workers, and things like that, contributing to society and all that. Frances Perkins is an interesting leader in female history. I don't know why I'm thinking about her right now. It's just reading something, and she came up recently. I don't know. Probably because the government's dismantling every single fucking thing that we've tried to use to protect workers in the past. Let's do a tangent change. Something that you and I think both have pretty strong opinions about. And we've had arguments over in the past, right? Let's talk about populism for a brief moment. Who's your I want you to think about all the historical figures you've noted in the past.
He's
right?
going to open his mouth and he's going to say some Alexander Hamilton shit to me.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really,
The unwashed
I don't like
masses.
Broadway. I don't like Broadway. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, out of all the figures that you've seen in the past, who has had the greatest distance between what they have said and what they have done? In your opinion? That's what populists are. They say one thing, they do another, and they fuck over the populace that they were trying to help.
Hey, the answer I should have done here is absolutely Hernan Cortez, just literally just not describing situations as they actually occurred. But I don't know. I wanted to talk shit about Stoicism, I guess.
Well, he was a Roman emperor.
That's a great example. I mean,
Well, it was Marcus Aurelius. I just have a very low opinion of Marcus Aurelius.
why?
Oh, because it's like, oh wow, you get to be stoic, you're a fucking emperor. Although it's also this thing that I come back to. It's the usual source of empathy for me, because sometimes you really got to look for it. It's that you and it's not exactly a high-minded idea. It's a pretty universal one. It's just hard to keep in mind, of course, that everyone's got their struggles and you can't see them, right? Like if I were to, let's say I'm in class and I say something shitty about women. That is not to say that it's justified by the reality, but it makes my perspective more understandable if they knew my particular history. But obviously any woman hearing this big guy with mustache and domestic violence eyes
And a lead paint stare. And
saying something shitty about women, it would just be this the typical chauvinist pig thing, which isn't too far from the truth. I don't know. There's even rich boys with daddy money got some struggles,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like what is the other big Stoic thinker? Am I really? I cannot blank for his
really
name right
Stoics
now.
are going
but
after.
Epictetus. Well, no,
that?
which is funny because it's basically just Western equivalent to Buddhism. Is like, hey, you can't fix your situation, you got to fix your mindset. But Epictetus, he was a former slave, and it obviously I find that I'm sort of Christian to say this, but I just find it inherently more powerful for a former slave to say, you need to adjust your mindset because you don't have control over your situation.
Brother, you don't understand. You need to adjust your mindset.
But it's true.
It's the way you say it. I can see the beret up here.
The beret. I was gonna say this sort of manosphere-ish. I don't know.
I was gonna say Nation of Islam-ish, but people don't know what that is anymore. By the way,
Nation. Well, if they read The Fire next time.
God, but what was his name again? Epididymis?
Epictetus.
Epictetus,
I might be
yeah.
mispronouncing it, but I always fuck up the Greek names.
Did he write like a famous script that got saved or something like that? Because like I love Max Miller and like Tasting History and all those other channels that do that, Table of the Gods and everything. And every now and then they'll mention like an old manuscript or an old script or something like that. And that name sounds really familiar. Did he write anything at all that got saved?
No, yeah,
I'm guessing.
I mean, I read it a million years ago. It was like the Epistles of Epictetus or whatever. But you know, yeah, he was.
You bitch. The Discourses of Epictetus.
He was a teacher, and his lectures were recorded. But I don't know if he wrote anything or if it was just in that capacity that he said things and they were written down. But he definitely didn't write a recipe.
Okay. Hey, I mean, even Marcus Aurelius had a few recipes written down. That's all I'm saying. They were shit, but he had them.
For real?
Yeah. I think Max Miller did an episode on it, but for the most part, it was basically just like, hey, you know the normal things we as Greeks eat around here? That. You know?
Oh, I see. So it's okay.
None of these lavish Persian ingredients like saffron or coriander, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if coriander was popular in like the Mediterranean at that point yet. I don't really know about that. But yeah.
But yeah, what about populism? What does this have to do with?
I was curious because like I every time my girlfriend's becoming radicalized slowly as time goes on, because she's not actually radicalized, she's just getting really into politics and whatnot these days.
Well, I remember she had a very low opinion, speaking of the Nation of Islam, of Malcolm X.
Okay. I don't think she knows who that is at all, other than that she probably heard something negative at one point in the past. I started to realize that.
Well, I mean, the Nation of Islam wasn't exactly known for women's lib. They were with me on this one. We had similar opinions on the origins of the white race and women's place.
Are those like the ones who were into Yakub and shit? Like,
yeah, no, it all came from there.
Okay,
I would
cool,
honestly say that's the longest, the most pertinent thing to like modern discourse. The Nation of Islam's contribution was the Yakub, the myth of Yakub.
That's their greatest achievement. The greatest.
I mean, the rest of that shit fizzled out. You hear a lot of black people talking about the need to create an independent black nation.
Not as much as I used to. You know, now that I mention it. No. I don't know. Ever since the Boondocks.
I probably closed my window for talking about crazy shit.
Yeah, that's how Liberia was founded, right?
Yeah, by
Like
Monroe and all that.
Monrovia and all that. I keep getting all these weird history shorts pushed to me. I think it's just because every now and then you'll talk about a concept, I'll Google it, and then I'll get like a bunch of like Redditors saying like, hey, come, let's learn about this thing, you know? And the difference is that they're not like you. You're a little bit more bitter. Like, I am cursed to bear this knowledge with you. But with these other guys, they're like, hey, let's learn about this cool thing. Let's talk about lock jams, you know?
Oh, it's like did you watch that like short I sent you? The AI generated one of me?
Yeah. I hated that so much. Oh my god.
It's so funny how it's like it was my face and my voice, but it's just the tone and demeanor was, hey, I'm a contributor for BuzzFeed. And let's talk about how cool the Apache were. And I'm like, the Apache weren't cool. Let's talk about the horrors.
Oh god.
Let's talk about scalping each other for pennies.
What did you post that?
No.
Oh, thank
I put it on like my Discord shit.
Okay, good. Because like someone needs to see that, but not everyone needs to.
No.
It was just so weird looking. It made your eyes black. Oh god, I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, my eyes would bug out in the particular. Yeah, like a Reddit or BuzzFeedy kind of. BuzzFeed is such a dated reference, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, you and I get it. I'm not plugged in at all. I can pretend to be plugged in. I'm not. I don't know.
Populism.
I
want to yell about that because essentially, whenever I hear a critique of, you need to take every individual as an individual, as I'm always saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because someone is you could just be a hollow populist and just say they I don't know.
That's all of them, by the way. There's literally not a single populist movement, at least that I can think of. I would love to hear some arguments, both from you and in the comments. There's not a single populist movement to date that has not resulted in a form of corruption quickly thereafterward. Maybe Nepal's different. Maybe Nepal is different right
So
now.
what? You should just openly be like, well, I'm for them.
Yeah, honestly, if you have a better alternative, I'd love to hear it. But every time we reinvent government, we just recreate authoritarianism. That seems to be the issue, right? It's like, okay, so we're going to do representative governments. We've all seen the
You
CPG.
say this as though the Enlightenment didn't have a populist streak. Like, yeah, no, the French Revolution sort of went some bad places.
Can you name another one?
Lots of heads rolling.
But
I mean, yeah, frankly, the French Revolution is probably the place to go. Even if we, end up with Napoleon, it's still the rhetoric is not something that should be cast off. Just because occasionally you'll get a Napoleon out of it.
No, it's not occasionally. It's almost always. There's a form of a Napoleon. There's a Napoleon. There's a Perdon. There's a Peron. There is a what is it? There's a Mussolini. There's a Ping. There's always going to be another variation because a populist movement results from a majority of people being fucking annoyed or the ruling class being really annoyed, right? It's one of those two things, usually the latter. And it's just... Populism sounds really good. And the reason I even brought this up is because, like, my girlfriend was saying, like, she bought some short or something about... Mao or some shit like that, or something about Taiwan, and she asked me about it, and it's like it's just a bunch of people who are just trying to get people to wave to their banners, and they all die in the end. What about it? And she was like, well, they're like, they're for workers' rights and communism and all that. And I was like, well, complicated and all that. Realistically, it's the philosophy doesn't tie it together and all that. And I basically just tried to summarize it by saying that, like, I can't really find a populist movement that has ended positively with lasting change as a result of that movement. Like the reaction to that movement and the results from that reaction, such as Napoleon and the things that came because of that after Napoleon that echoed throughout the world. Like all these decisions that came because of his failures and because of his successes. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just saying that this is probably worse for the majority of people. Like war is worse for the majority of people.
This is what I'm talking about, the hope thing, that there's a... It's not that I disagree with you. It's a truth that I can't live with. That it is just going to be this forever. Some pigs being more equal than others. What is the point of anything if there is no path towards a future that's more just? I don't know. Maybe it really is just be a Buddhist and a Stoic about it. Just learn to live with whatever reality may come to arise. I don't know. The future, Wolf, is Buddhist libertarianism.
Buddhist libertarian is the future.
Mm-hmm. That's Wolf. I honestly, the older I get, and I guess this is the inevitable life path, right? It's just, all right, life, liberty, and property. The government can get the fuck out of everything else. Everything else is tyranny. And I guess it's partially that my income tax is no longer taken directly out of my paychecks, and now I have to really count the cost, and I have to see the Israel bill at the end of the year, and it's brutal. And I'm finally about fucking done paying off that Israel bill.
Yeah, everyone's a libertarian when they pay taxes, man.
Yeah, no. Well, it's, I guess, when I have to... it doesn't matter. But you see that, along with Buddhism, along with being able to live without being a slave to your own desires, I'm just going to live under a tree and tell the government to fuck off. That's what I'm saying here, Wolf. Mm-hmm. That's the goal.
I mean, that's
a happy life.
I like
that's
that.
That's the only one. Well, I need a grand narrative that I can live with, but I don't think there is one.
No, I need a story. I need a story for it all to fit perfectly. I mean,
genuinely, but there isn't one, and it's just that we're all constantly yearning for this place that isn't a constant. This weekend, I'm finally just going to kill the whole book. I'm not doing Apache Part 2. I'm going to, but I'm not doing it this fucking month. Because I need to square this circle. I have too much inner turmoil. And that's the place where it just all bubbles to the surface. So I need to check out of it and finish Man in His Dreams.
Yeah, put your energy in the right
On the
place.
or the not the interpretation of dreams, that is Freud, but he was talking about that and I was scared he was going to. This was written in like what the 60s, the 70s, like mid 20th century, in the middle of the Cold War. Jung.
Okay.
He lived after Freud, or he was younger than Freud. They lived during a, you know what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
But he talked about like that very desire for, you know, what we call this desire to build a utopia is like, that's not new. It's this universal human yearning that did find expression in like myth, and then in religion, and then now in like just political science. But every single approach has just led to the same place. The few dominating the many. Sia is yearning for something. I don't know what at the moment. But where was I going with that shit? But he specifically called out communists as trying to build this utopia and it not working out. And then I was like, oh, I thought this motherfucker wasn't going to be... I don't know. I was hoping... As I was reading, I was like, I assumed he was above the politics. But then he, you know, immediately called out. Like, it's the same thing. It's... that's the thing. It's like a government that protects just... What I understand is that a government that protects just life, liberty, and property, that is also just a path to just completely different horrors. And once again, you know, what was the featured Wikipedia article that I directed you to yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
It was the English, like, what is the word?
It was the creation of the Pharmacy Act, I think. Like, what led to it?
It was, yeah, the poisoning of sweets, adulterating, like, little caramel sweets or whatever the fuck with...
Gypsum powder.
It wasn't cyanide. It was something else. But yeah, all sorts of shit. Just like, you know, cutting flat. The same way that a drug dealer will cut cocaine with flour.
Yeah.
In England in the 19th century, they would cut flour with chalk and shit.
Mm-hmm. Like gypsum dust and bones and shit.
But yeah, you can't just protect life, liberty, and property. Well, I guess is it an extension of protecting life, liberty, and property to also protect from adulterating, you know, food, which then you got to make this FDA, which will get all up in everyone's business and stop me from putting cyanide in
What's wrong with
caramels.
bones in my Jello? I like the chunks.
Jello is bones, cartilage, whatever. But the no.
God, you know, it'd be so much.
Now I sound like my government professor, who I fucking hate.
Okay,
Because you'll just ask these like.
We've been recording for 32 minutes. Here's the issue. I realize the issue now. I understand where all of our problems are coming from. You and me, we're soy cucks. We're soy cucks. We give a shit. There's things that we love. I love animals. You love people. As much as you hate them, you love them more than you acknowledge. Like, we're soy cucks. We just need to become conservative political pundits. That's what we need to do. Rob ourselves of the emotion. Put an iron rod behind my eye so I don't feel anything.
We need to free ourselves from this worldly desire to eat bread without chalk in it.
Yeah, this earthly desire. It's too much. It's too much, you know. Yeah, in the kingdom of heaven, all bread will have chalk and bones. I feel like let's not get so serious, man. Let's not be so serious this fucking time.
There's no gaming in this Yeehaw. Although, frankly, I've not been enjoying my Battlefield gameplay very much. Have you played the new map they put out?
I love it.
I hate it.
I love it so much. Oh my god.
Is a skull fuck.
Okay, yeah.
I can never take A.
I never take it. I never go that far. I have not. Out of all the maps I've played, there's almost always at least one map where the good team will just wipe everyone out and the game's over in 10 minutes. Like, they claim every objective. In, like, Blackwell Fields, like the oil one, I love it so much because there's this open oil plain field on one side and then, like, fucking Afghanistan on the other. It's just mountains and rocks and ghillie suits. I love it. There's, like, a perfect little line in between. There's a vehicle river in the middle that you can, like, decide to go down. I mean, I'm having a ton of fun. Like, I feel like I'm going to downtown Fallujah every time I'm playing that game. I'm having a great time. What do you not like about it?
No, it's that. We got through to B once, but I always end up on the attacking team. I've yet to defend. and the attacking team just never takes A because I'm on it.
I haven't played Breakthrough yet. I just realized I've
Oh,
only played
that's
Conquest.
probably the distinction. I've only played Breakthrough.
Man, you really love that.
No,
that
I
trench
probably would
warfare
like
shit.
Conquest more. You know what? I'll try that actually.
You love that shit. It's throwing yourself in the meat grinder. You like that shit, don't you, Squidward?
It's the shit that I fucking hate.
I
That's
like
my
it.
entire problem with Battlefield. It's well, I've talked about this before. I don't know.
Oh
But,
yeah, another gaming thing. I've been trying to get into Minecraft recently because, like, yeah, I know a guy in his like late 20s decides to get into Minecraft. Whoop did fucking do, but
Minecraft is heaven, Wolf. It is the union image of heaven that all of man, since the dawn of time, has collectively yearned for. Don't you get it? That is the archetype. It is the place. You want a house, you simply punch a tree for 30 seconds. And you got it. There's just enough struggle. And such ample rewards for such small struggle.
Carl Jung's a man
That
in
is
search of
heaven.
Minecraft.
No, that's that fucking. Oh, I need to get that book back.
There's a little asterisk.
But
beside.
that book is very different. Man's Search for Meaning. My God.
I couldn't read any of that shit. There was a point when I tried to get into like social stuff and writing and essays and all that, but I just found the words never could flow. You know, no matter how I tried, just couldn't get them to work. You know, I felt like there was always a sense of like, what am I writing this down for? You know, like even if I shared this with someone or even if I shared
What do
it
you
with
mean?
myself.
It's so that incognito you can put an ad on.
Shut
That's
the
what it's for.
fuck up.
No, but it's. Excuse me.
With Rocket Money, monetize my trauma.
Will it monetize my search?
Oh God, Jesus, man.
But no, like man, Search for Meaning is brutal, and that's once again the hope thing because he just kept going. You couldn't stop him, Viktor Frankl. You put me in a death camp, I'd lay down, start blowing bubbles. I'm done. No, I'm fucking. You put me here in this modern vexing world we're in, and already I'm like, what? I have to go and buy food to eat breakfast? What's the point?
I'm sorry, just like you at a death camp. I'm picturing like Schindler's List, and you're like biting like until your thumb bleeds, and you put blush on your sides. So you're
What?
walking around the Venezuelan death camp, just trying to impress some of the guards so you can survive another day.
This is the exact opposite, Wolf. I got no warrior spirit. No nothing. I don't know. It's that dynamic of the barbarian and the village, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fundamentally uninterested in blazing a warpath. And,
As of now,
no, I'm not interested in the warpath and collecting a harem of horses and a herd of women.
the way it should be done.
No, I'm uninterested in that. I simply want to exist in the village. Well, I know that the village cannot exist because of the barbarian, he's a coming. And someone's got to be supplying the harem. So it's just, I guess I just end up in the harem.
You're just gonna be in there.
Get a saucy trollop.
Just reinvented the Golden Horde. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Oh yeah, while we're talking about step barbarians and shit, the new AOE 4 DLC just launched, man, and it's been a ton of fun. I've only played one of the new civs, but it's great, man.
I fucking hate AoE. I tried playing it, I don't like it.
It's great, man. It's great. I understand not liking it. I've been like, I didn't know there was this community of people who liked this game. I liked when I was a little kid, right? So like realizing that there's a new game, people are playing it. They're still doing DLCs for 2. Isn't that crazy? That game came out in like 2004. They're still doing DLCs for it.
That's not crazy. They're remaking Halo CE again. No one has any fucking ideas.
Yeah, but like it's crazy because they're not making DLCs for Halo. They're not making more content for Halo. They're making the content
No,
quote
I would
unquote
say
better.
they're just reiterating upon what's already been done for decades as opposed to making something new. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the context of 2 versus 3 versus 1 and AoE, you know, the difference is massive. Like, you notice I never said AoE 3 at any point, and we're going to keep it that way. So, like...
Well, that's always the problem with these long-running franchises is like the idea of what they... Well, it's not the problem. It's like the fan base comes to expect something. Like, there's now a big controversy about the... Have I told you about the new Halo thing that's happened while I let my essay languish
I
and
love
die?
bitchy gamers. Tell me about it. What's up?
Well, so they added sprint to CE.
Yeah.
So that's just how you start. So now Halo fans are blazing the warpath, to Microsoft's offices in Seattle,
They're
Redmond.
They're loading the siege weapon.
Yeah, no, Phil Spencer has been drawn and quartered. But yeah, no, it's because like, you know, on one hand I get it, because like it really isn't a necessary inclusion, and it is there just to make it more palatable for the Zoomers. But whenever I told Halo fans let Halo die, they got upset. But like, if you don't let Halo die, this is the reality of what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the attempting to make it palatable to Zoomers who simply will not play it because you can't play as Batman.
Yeah, so you get to pick and choose what you get mad at. Do you get mad at the fact that they're putting Sprint in it, or the fact that they're not updating the game that you liked as
We
a
just
kid?
need more spiritual successors. I don't know. I just
You know, Charlie
wanna
talks
say I
about
don't-
this.
huh.
He talks about this, like his struggle with IP and all that, about how like no one can make anything fucking original. It can only be iterations or alterations of things that already existed, like Splitgate.
well, even when you try to iterate Splitgate is
was
like
fun
a
for
good
15
example of a spiritual successor. You can take something like Halo and you, I don't know, fucking add a portal to it and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. It was a little fun, but I think I stopped playing it after like one day, just because like I was just having much more fun playing the finals. I felt like it offered more, and I enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
Honestly, in terms of shooters, I mean, like besides Battlefield, which I consider independent of like other shooters, because I can't find anything else like it. Yeah, I'd say finals is honestly my S tier. That's my top right now. I am most engaged, having the most fun. The dopamine is rushing. I am injecting that shit straight into my spinal cord when I play the finals.
Battlefield's actually a good example, and certainly you can call it trend chasing, and I'm sure it was trend chasing, and that's why the directive came down from EA. But
What's
for
that?
Battlefield 2042, the including operators or whatever, so they could sell them.
Specialist kit.
So obviously that was not done in good faith, and that was not done to improve the game. But like, Battlefield needs to have squads. That's just, it's a basic part of the Battlefield identity. It needs it.
That's what, hero based. Yeah, okay. Yeah, when they did Heroes in 2042, everyone fucking hated it. And this 2042 is a game that completely changed every 6 months until now.
It's like, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
I can.
Paranoid, I get that. But yeah, it's a game that completely changed its UI, its UX, all of it. Completely changed every 6 months because it was just so unfucking popular. And by the very end of that game, its last 6 months of life, it turned into what we now know as a specialist style. It still has the quote-unquote heroes, because that's just how the game is made, but they separated it into specialist systems. What we're playing right now in 6 is specialist. The engineer does the engineer shit.
Yeah.
The recon and all that. I don't like hero-based shit because I don't like Siege. I didn't like Siege 10 years ago. I didn't like it 5 years ago. I don't like it now. Like, that's what it felt like to me. It just felt like a Siege clone, but with the chaos of Battlefield. And they tried to do this with Hardline. Hardline was actually fun, massively unpopular, but not popular, like, at all. I had a ton of fun playing it. So, like, why are we going back to Hero?
Hardline is a Hardline is an example of like trying to do something in good faith, I think, because certainly it's not like that was a trend they were chasing, the cops and robbers shit. They were trying to do something new, but it's, you see Battlefield on the box, and it's like this has to meet certain criteria, and that criteria is restrictive, and strangles creative expression. I
loved it. Because it took concepts
we don't
can't
need a Battlefield 6, and it's fun, and I'm enjoying it.
What do you mean? Why not? We don't need anything. We don't need sugar, but I like the things that taste sweet.
That's not comparable. That's the equivalent of how I said we don't need shooters. It's just once you have, so Battlefield 6 is this return to form, right? And it bothers me that they apparently got that part of the rhetoric around its release was like, we got the guy that did Titanfall, and that made Call of Duty. He took Call of Duty from this old crusty World War II shooter to the modern warfare thing that made it a phenomenon. And it's like, why are you taking this guy that apparently is known for reinventing franchises and sticking him on the return to form with no imagination? That might be fun, but it has no imagination.
That was the differentiation. Returning to form was how they differentiated themselves from other games at the time.
It seems like a lot of franchises are just caught in this perpetual loop of like the return to form, and then they try to iterate on it, and everyone freaks the fuck out. And I'm not criticizing fans or creators. It's that we're just sort of stuck in IP, and
Well, I've told you about this before, about my ideas around like that weird period where we all exist in, right? And I love it because I recognize that I want to be able to play the game with lots of people as long as I can, as often as I can. Like, I have dreams about Battlefield 1 and 4. I still remember, like, rounds within that game and matches, right? And, oh God, I don't know. I'm sorry. I just completely lost my train of
I could
thought.
not imagine actually dreaming about a video game. I mean, that it will happen if I'm like...
It's just emotionally compelling because, like, oh, yeah, now I remember now. It's because I know it's temporary, and I know that, like, all of the ghoulish forces that exist in the world will eventually ruin this thing that I love, and this fruit will eventually rot. And I'm understanding that, so I'm going to enjoy every single little piece while I got it. I'm gonna remember one. I'm going to remember the char. I'm going to remember fucking... oh my God, what is it called? That one time I got 40 kills running around Monte Grappa with a fucking mace as a heavy. Like, I'm going to remember the memories of the good times I had on my own and with my friends in that period, because that's the true value of this game to me. It has nothing to do with any physical thing or any code or anything like that. It's just the feelings I got with my friends when I was playing that game at the time. And I'm getting that feeling again playing 6. A feeling I never had playing 2042.
Yeah, see, to me, playing Battlefield 6 is just... It's just being stuck in a Skinner box, so I just don't see this immaterial joy that you're perceiving. It's just the thing that I clock into because I'm running myself ragged on work and I'm trying to relax. So I put myself in a box where treats come out because it feels good. It scratches my brain.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, let it scratch your brain for a little
I don't know.
bit.
I'm not criticizing the impermanence of media or anything like that. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm you know what? I am criticizing fans. I'm tired of them.
That's okay. I like making fun of fans.
No, it's just I'm just tired of the constant fucking discourse, like the Halo sprint thing. I just like go fucking play the old one. Like I just who cares, you know?
What's wrong with even putting it in? I don't understand.
Oh, well, the idea is that so apparently Bungie would continually experiment with adding sprint to Halo, but they found that it didn't add anything to the combat loop and it just distracted from it. Mm-hmm. I mean, me personally, like obviously my favorite game is Doom Eternal, and that doesn't have sprint. Like I don't think it's necessary for an FPS to have sprint to be fun or whatever. And also, it's like whether or not you have sprint, like that doesn't make it like I very much see the argument for making Halo faster, because playing the original Halos, it's just sort of slow and like you're moving through molasses. But sprint has nothing to do with it being faster. You know, like I would consider the original Doom faster than playing a match of Battlefield, because a lot of playing Battlefield is waiting and positioning, whereas Doom, it's just constant. Like the position that the game is trying to get you to be in is constantly moving. You know, it's not trying to get you to sit in one place and set up. Essentially, the argument I'm making is that it's an argument that doesn't matter because you can just go play those originals whenever you want.
Yeah.
I guess it's just there seems to be this perspective among Halo fans that Halo can return to its... I made a whole essay about that. That Halo can return to its former popularity if only Microsoft would just make Halo 3 again. Which is just so fucking annoying and dumb.
I just don't want to hear anything about Halo 3 again, man.
Yeah, well, once again, just go play Halo. Halo 3 exists now and no one is playing it. And if you are playing it, then have fun. Like, I don't see why it has to be this phenomenon again. It's not going to be.
You know,
whatever, you know, it's not even... Is Fortnite even the big fucking thing now? I don't even know.
Oh, dude, I have no fucking idea, honestly.
Friday Night Funkin', Wolf.
I think for children, it's Roblox and Fortnite. I think for adults, it's the same as it's been for 10 years. It's Siege, Battlefield, and Call of Duty.
Right now, saying that all that is necessary for... It's the equivalent of like a man that's in his 50s saying, you know, if Marvel wants to start making money again, all they got to do is get Arnold Schwarzenegger to fight an alien in a jungle. Like, that's the only sure method of success.
I mean, all
like,
Battlefield had to do was
like
return to
Predator
form.
fucking rules, but not everything should be Predator. Predator is from a moment in time, of its time, and that's part of what makes it special. Art is...
That was the idea for Battlefield, right? And that's why they kept innovating, quote unquote, and differentiating. Differentiating just means to make different and unique. Like just doing that over and over and over again, you know? And realistically, just returning to form is what we all wanted. We wanted it since 5. 5 was like 6 years ago, man. That was a long time ago.
I just don't see the point of 6 battle... I guess I am advocating for live service stuff. Just, you know, keep updating Battlefield 6 forever. Mm-hmm. And that's really all that's necessary.
Just be on
but
the
then I
side
guess
of
the
good
player
products.
count does dwindle.
Yeah, like I understand that like some people attribute product and service to be the same thing, right? But I'm a fan of a good product. Like, yeah, I fucking hate EA. Yeah, who doesn't hate EA? I hate them as a business major, I hate them. As an individual, as a consumer, I have several reasons to not like EA. I'm still gonna play Battlefield. I'm still gonna play it. You know, I still love that shit. It still has the memories. I still remember going to my friend's house in 2012. I remember hanging out with my friends in 2016 playing one. Like, the value of that will never leave me, you know, until EA decides to suck that value out of me through a myriad of other things, making another Battlefield 5. I would just drop this series for another 10 years if they make it another Battlefield 5.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if the companies are learning their lessons. Microsoft doesn't have to learn lessons because they're a military contractor, so the money will just keep flowing and then continue to use that money to ruin everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. I got to figure, yeah, they will make a Battlefield 6 and a 7 and an 8, and they will all be exactly like Battlefield.
Oh, no, they're gonna
I guess it's sort of like selling the disease so you can sell the cure later. Because the problem is, how can they sell Battlefield 7 if it too is a return to form? You must first deviate from the form, and then Battlefield 8 will be Battlefield's back.
This is called New Coke. This is the New Coke strategy.
Yeah, I think well, it's what the fuck else are you going to do? Because when I think about Battlefield, I remember whenever it was unveiled, and it is neat, the little animation that plays whenever you can revive, and I think that is a mechanical inclusion. Could you revive, could every class, every specialist revive squad members? Yep. They all could? Okay. But just the little dragging away animation, it's very slick and cool. And it's fun to pull off.
Well, here's like, I have an
But it's like, that's the one new thing as far as I can tell.
That's not new at all.
So it isn't new at all, even the dragging away?
No.
Oh, okay. So nothing new at all?
So Bethesda does this, and DICE does this as well. They will take old games that are currently like kind of dying, kind of figuring it out, but the devoted fan base, the people who have opinions, are still playing it. So they'll test things and kind of listen through QA of it, right? And in 2042, they did like... I have no fucking idea why they did this. They did a collaboration with Mass Effect in 2025. I have no fucking idea why they did that. And I give you like an emblem or some shit. But anyway, underneath all of this weird event that they were doing a lot of testing of new things they were going to do for the next game. They wanted to see like, okay, we think it's a good idea to do a new version of the revive mechanic. We're going to keep doing it where you can like hold it to like save yourself, or maybe we want them to crawl around. So they did a few weeks of like, okay, we'll let them crawl around like in Warzone. I don't know if you played Warzone, but you get to crawl around for a little bit. And they'll shoot you, and then you're down for good. You know, like, they give you a second to crawl away to get to your teammates, and they can come to you. They did that in 2042, and it was cool. It kind of added to the chaos of it, you know? Missile goes down, people are like, on fire and shit, and you're dragging them away from the helicopter. Super cool. But apparently it just wasn't... It was ruining the gameplay loop, the combat loop somehow by doing this, because Battlefield's a game where if you change how quickly you can revive someone, or this or that, you know, it completely alters the game state. It completely alters the way the game is played, right? Because if you can heal people faster, there's more medics. There's more medics, that means there's more types of guns with medics, and like an ecosystem, right? They do this thing where they'll just test stuff before the new game by including it at the very end of a game's life cycle. And they did this with Fallout 4. And no one fucking remembers, but I remember. I remember, Robert. I remember whenever it was Fallout 4, they decided to introduce these new mechanics for building in your settlement and all that. And I always thought, like, from the very beginning in 4, like, man, this settlement shit's broken. It doesn't feel like it's complete. There's so much shit. Even in the game files, there's shit missing. So it's like, what is with this? And I'm big into modding, so like I'm watching these videos talk about it. I'm listening to Juicehead and shit, and I'm just reading Nexus, and people came to the same conclusion I did, or maybe I came to the conclusion because of them. This is just testing for a new game that would become Fallout 76, and lo and behold, 76 had all the features that we were talking about and listing in these Nexus forums, right? And it's like, yeah, this was just a QA test for Fallout 4 to make a new game. And that's what they did with DICE as well, you know, just a tiny example with the revive mechanic, but they did this for tons of other things. And that's an okay way to use a game that is shit at the end of its life cycle. Use it to test things you want for your new game, but don't do it from the very beginning.
Well, I feel like you're neglecting the broader story unfolding there. Like, Fallout 4 introduced that settlement mechanic, and then 76 made it a more core part of the loop and added the multiplayer component and all that. And then Starfield continued to add to that, but now it's like, now you do it on other planets. It's the same feature being brought across multiple franchises and genres, and being built upon and iterated upon.
Do you like
But
it?
it's all, well, no, that's sort of the thing. It's coming back to like that stagnation or iteration thing, and it's like I'm criticizing fans for being unimaginative and unwilling to accept new things. But at the same time, this is very much the case. If they add that shit to Elder Scrolls 6, I'm not going to buy it, and I'm not going to talk about it.
I'm here to tell you, you will. You probably will.
No. I don't fucking play video games anymore. It's like you telling me that I'm going to buy Windows 11 no matter what. They offered me an extension. You can keep clicking no. I think it's one more year of security updates.
They're just going to keep doing it. You're just going to fall back on Windows 7. Apparently, a lot of people fell back on Windows 7.
Well, no, you can't fall back. I don't know if there's like some community. I wouldn't trust any of that shit. I will switch to Linux or I will switch to Mac. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get Windows 11 because I'm so fucking tired of Microsoft. Regardless,
Be an Ubuntu guy.
oh man, isn't it Ubuntu?
I don't remember, man.
I don't know, but that's Linux. I don't know. I've used Linux before. It was fine. But I don't know if they have a DaVinci Resolve for that. It doesn't matter. But the point is, it's like it seems pretty clear that is what Bethesda wants to make, and there is a fan base for that. Absolutely.
I was
Like
just about to
there's an
mention
entire like this is also a thing that I sort of wanted to talk about in a video once, but I didn't know where to go with it. Is like a franchise like Fallout in particular is a good example. You have multiple generations of fans, and Fallout has meant such different things to so many different people now.
Great description.
Yeah, no, I mean those, and it's like you simply cannot please the people that got into Fallout because of the original ones,
Obviously.
the isometric RPG.
Go play Wasteland.
And the 3.
Go play Wasteland. Wasteland 2. It's good. It's a good game. Go
No,
play
yeah,
that.
no, that's a good spiritual successor.
I don't want a fucking
Yeah, no.
remaster of 1 or 2. Like I'm gonna get a remaster of 1 or 2 before I get a new Vegas or a new 3.
I don't think they would bother without completely changing. I could see them remastering it, quote unquote, by making it like Fallout 3 style.
You're about to get the 10th year anniversary of 4. It's about to come out. I don't know if you know about that.
Are they doing a thing?
Yeah. Okay,
Oh, the anniversary edition, or I'm guessing
Yeah.
it's like Skyrim anniversary edition.
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
Okay.
I like it for one reason. Only one reason I can see this as being positive. 2. 1, I don't have to buy all the extra shit. All the DLCs are included, right? The other reason I'm okay with this is, again, modding community. It means I have to have 2 separate mod files and 2 separate games, right? I have one that's much like Skyrim. Back in the day, you had Skyrim, your base version that has 40, 50,000, 60,000 mods for it. And then you have Skyrim SE, which has like 20,000 mods, but it's so much easier to mod apparently because like you don't have to say have this downloaded and do it in this order. You can just use Skyrim CE or SE, and you can also use this new Fallout version, whatever, AE. It'll be FO4 AE. That'll be the name of it, and that'll be what the new mods are made out of. They'll just construct it from this particular set of data, and it's easier to make mods. It's easier to manage mods that way too. So I'm down to see how that will turn out, but I haven't had a computer capable of running a game in 2 years. But I am curious.
I'm not sure if I'm going to bother messing with it. I mean, Fallout 4 is just sort of... Because it's when they started to orient the game route. I'm sorry, I've been watching Scooby-Doo, trying to learn his language. This is a reference to a conversation that the podcast listeners have no idea. Doesn't matter. I'm trying to learn Spanish, and whatever. The gameplay loop, reorienting the gameplay loop around the settlement shit, which I'm just fundamentally not interested in. It's Bethesda is not interested in. It seems, and I
Making
guess I'm
money?
guilty of. Well, I'm not sure if Fallout 4 sold really well, and I don't.
You remember the hype before 4? You remember the
yeah.
countdown timer? Do you remember that?
Oh, that went nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
yeah. Do you remember me obsessing over it? For
No,
like
I
a
remember.
year?
I remember also like being with you on that, even if I was a little less so, just because I'm more of an Elder Scrolls guy. But
just
yeah,
the
no,
one.
I also was excited for it, and
I remember people thought there was going to be a TV show at that point. Thank God there wasn't, but probably would have looked. I don't know if you've gone back to Game of Thrones, but it probably looked like the quality of Game of Thrones. Like, I have this theory, right, about fantasy series that the greater the distance between when it was originally created and when you're watching it, eventually it all kind of looks like Legend, the movie. So it looks like it looks cheap, like a bunch of guys in Ren Fair outfits in a cheap setting.
I can't even do a joke. I'm so fucking tired. I just woke up and it's 4 a.m. All right, guys. Here's another one. This is in the time between I went to Big Bend so that I would have some nice footage for the background. So
It's just odd, you know. I can't find a fucking basic job selling a product, but I can find like selling a shitty ideology to shitty people. I can do that.
I actually want to talk about Charlie Kirk for a second.
I would love to. Yeah.
I get that a lot of people liked him, but it's fucking absurd the way some will talk about him like he was a preacher or a pastor.
Yeah.
He went to college campuses. He got college students pissed off, and he would clip them. And, you know, I get it. It was effective. It doesn't quite fall under trolling marketing. He knew the internet game, and he played it well. And, like, that's just my perspective on the guy. And that New Life Church, particularly earlier this semester, they'd come on campus during lunch and Monday, and I'd always sit there and I'd listen to them.
Yeah.
It was always ridiculous. I'd listen to them for as long as I could stand. And it wasn't just them, it was also the people that would come and talk to them. It was just awful, bad arguments from all involved. And, like, I'm not even remarking upon the church itself. Like, they clearly were taking a page from his playbook because they were filming the whole thing and they were looking for pissed off liberal, like, you know, fucking, they wanted to post schooling the lib compilations on YouTube. So it was like, I just sat there like, don't bite.
See, this is the part where, like, I want to be a mature, smart, socially inept person. I want to be the right thing, but I just desperately want to go up to these people and just go like, and just walk away.
Well, it's
God, man. It's because once a year, this used to happen every year. Once a year, every 6 months, there was a guy who would come by connected to some weird church somewhere, some Baptist church, who would have a giant, like, it looked like a 40K banner, like a giant Roman banner with a bunch of, like, random philosophies on it and all that. Like, what is it? Like, I don't know, keep women out of sports and shit. Like,
oh, yeah.
And he would just, with a megaphone, because, like, it's a free speech place. That's what the plaza is for, right?
Yeah.
He would, like, with a megaphone, just kind of yell at people and try to get them to. He was doing the Charlie Kirk thing before he died. And, he did this since I first showed up in 2016, and he's been doing it ever since. I might have died by now, but yeah, no, it's just these crazy, outlandish zealots, you know, like they really bear no attention, man. There's no reason to really pay attention to them, but I do like watching the debates because I like to cheer on one or the other based on who's winning. Because sometimes I just love a little conflict, but like I just want to like. Just because it's fun. It's fun watching this happen, right? We're watching two people.
It's only frustrating because I just hear I could make a better argument for both sides, and I understand I'm not on the spot.
That's what I love about it.
But it's just absurd. Like one of them was
be a mediator for one of these. It's really funny.
Mediator.
Yeah.
I'll be the guy holding the camera. That's my side hustle.
Good hustle.
Oh, that's what Charlie should be doing. I got to ask if he's okay with us saying his name in this.
Filming people so they don't get beat to shit. And by that, yeah.
No, it's just
why they film themselves.
Destroying the libtard compilations.
Oh God, he would never do anything like that. You know what's funny?
No, of course he won't even like. I never suggested. Like obviously he couldn't just like get a job at Channel 5 or whatever. But like that, it's interesting to me whenever he talks about what he wants to do, and it's huge preference for legacy media, and it's like, I don't know, he's like young and fired up. You'd think he would want to work at something edgier, the equivalent of a Vice, you know, obviously not Vice anymore, but like, or a Channel 5. But instead he's like, I want to go work for the oh God, what was the yellow journalism guy? Patty Hearst.
Yeah, one of the Hearst companies.
Yeah, William Randolph Hearst. Like, and he I don't know, it just I get wanting something more respectable, but I feel like, I don't know, I've got to imagine a journalist with something edgy and weird.
It's not just pedigree, you know, it's not just where he's going. It's also the fact that, like, Charlie's very old school, you know, like, he believes in the idea of journalism. He believes in the pillars. He believes in true unbiased, you know. He's the kind of guy who will say, like, sadly, that he can't have an opinion about some things and vocally broadcast that thing because that would separate him from his both academic and professional integrity.
Yeah.
Like I make fun of him saying like he's like a middle of the road walker who can't make a decision, right? But it's
I get
because
so
he
many
can't.
fucking comments.
Yeah, yeah, but
Like,
it's,
why don't you take a side in the centuries-old blood feud?
it's like
Coward.
take a fucking stance.
I know journalists and historians that are unbiased, and they're fucking cowards, Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them.
That's the thing about it, though, is that like he looks at Channel 5 and he recognizes the bias. He looks at Hearst, he recognizes the bias. But I'm looking at his bank account and I'm looking at the bias. That's what I'm seeing. So like, I wish him luck in whatever he does. You know, I do think when he
You should spread the word of God with Turning Point USA. Famous religious organization, Turning Point USA.
Why are we listening to these weak, skinny ass, fucking nerdy people who debate college kids, man? Why are we listening to these fucking people never working a hard day in their life, walking around talking to people and canvassing, barely doing anything good for this world?
Well, it's
Why
not
do
like
we?
they pretend to be salt of the earth types. I mean,
I don't know about that. I've had a few that pretend. Like I had a guy
wearing
come
a
up to me.
Carhartt jacket. If
Yeah.
you wear a Carhartt jacket, you're basically blue collar. That's just the way it works.
Ugh, God.
I'm a YouTuber, however, I do go by the pickled pork skins at HEB and the second it opens at 5 a.m. So,
That's fucking
am I
vile.
not a Mexican day laborer in spirit at least?
You buy Pedialyte and store it in my truck, you are a day laborer.
Oh,
You do
well,
do
that's
that
for
shit.
my mid-run refreshments because it genuinely. It sounds so stupid because obviously hydrating halfway through a run will make you feel better, but it's phenomenal.
It's like night and day.
No,
Yeah.
it's like you just started the run all over again. Because at a certain point, you catch your breath as you're running. And, were you checking to... Oh, I thought he was checking to make sure the stove was off. It's off.
No, I remember the first time I tried, God, this is not a... I'm not even going to name the product, but like I tried some salt. Like a salt product in the middle of my workout for the first time. And I was like, this tastes like death, but it feels like I had 8 hours of sleep. Like in the middle of this workout, I was like, oh my God, is this what it's like? Is this what all those idiots are repping? I like this. I like this now. I want this. God.
I used to buy one. It was like snake juice or some shit. With some stupid name.
It's a real snake.
And it actually just tasted like straight up salt.
Yeah. I mean, like, same guy we talking about, Charlie, he, about 2 years ago, got really into weird health stuff, and he would quote to me what is that guy's name? Huberman?
Oh,
Some
Andrew something?
Yeah, that Andrew Huberman podcast or whatever, and he would quote shit like that to me, and I'd be like, you've been to the gym one day this week. You're drinking, like, what is it, like salt packets every other day, and telling me about the health benefits and, like algae and shit like that. It's like, dude, just go to Planet. Go to Crunch.
I butt chug 1 gallon of raw milk every day for my gut microbiome.
Isn't that just like scafing? That sounds like scafing, but with extra steps.
What's scafing?
Scafing is where you force your victim to drink honey and milk and then tie them to a boat and float them on the river, and their body rots from the inside out as bugs eat them apart.
Jesus. No, it's actually... Well, yes, it's traditional masculinity is what it is, Wolf.
Okay.
God, you can really tell. I'm even talking slowly. I'm so fucking beat. But the thing is, we have to do another podcast before I release the last podcast. So they're getting 2 episodes for the price of 1. And the reason for that is I said the word union so many fucking times, and listening to it, I wanted to punch myself. I finished that book finally. Man is Symbols. And half of it went over my head, so I shouldn't be saying the word union so fucking much.
You could study it for years, you know?
No, you certainly could. But I don't know. I mean, it's mostly just the idea of a collective unconscious, which fascinates me.
A collective.
Like, this doesn't fit into, this isn't an archetype or anything. It's just, I'm always fascinated by, like, humans, I'm not talking evolved physically, but like culturally developed on different planets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've found no indication of any contact between Mesoamericans and Andean civilizations. And so, and you've also got, obviously, I don't want to say Polynesians, because obviously they did reach the Americas. And have I talked to you about that at all?
A little bit about Easter Island. Yeah, you described it in detail.
Yeah, well, Easter Island's the most fascinating one.
And the
but
Birdman.
The Birdman cult. That's, oh yeah, talk about, you would think, because like birds are like this, when I think birds, I don't think like masculine, barbarian archetype, right? Like warlords or god kings or anything. But there's like a lot of Birdman. that was in Cahokia. There was the Birdman. Cahokia was pre-Columbian Native American city in the Mississippi. I've talked to you about that. St. Louis.
Buried with the harem, right?
Yeah. Well, that was, they had like twin god kings. It is a weird fucking deal, Cahokia. I highly recommend Cahokia by Timothy Pocketat, I think it was. But yeah, and there was also a Birdman cult on Easter Island, and these two certainly didn't have any contact whatsoever. And that was like after there was like environmental degradation on Easter Island, and the voyaging sphere, I think is the term, broke down. Like the winds stopped being favorable for like an interconnected Polynesia, and they became all more isolated. That's when the Birdman cult arose, and they it was a liftocracy, Wolf. It was whoever was the best athlete got to be king for a year.
I ran the fastest around the island.
Well, it was, you would have to jump off a cliff and swim to this little, not even an island, an islet, just like a rock covered in bird shit. That these one species of birds, they would lay their eggs there every year, and you'd take one of the eggs and you'd strap it to your fucking forehead and you'd swim back over. This is Easter Island, so it's open ocean.
Yeah.
And then you'd climb up a cliff, and if you still had the egg, then you got to be Birdman. And it would be nice if like that was whoever was literally the most physically fit got to be king.
Okay, I kind of like it a little bit.
But unfortunately, like the equivalent of wealthy figures, it's just you can't avoid them. They would call the shots. These elitists. Like I don't even know what is an elitist on a by that time. Like poverty-stricken feels like such a modern term, but you know what I'm saying. Like
just a lack of things.
I have the most potatoes, and that's really it. I got so many fucking sweet potatoes.
Well, it's just funny.
And I sponsored this young man. But then he would go like before that, like naturally they had like this traditional Polynesian theocracy essentially, whereas like the Uriki Mao was king, and he had his own harem, and he had mana, which was like the spirit of the ancestors, and he had magic and all this shit. But the Birdman cult, like once they arose, they just like burned down the Uriki Mao's house, and just. Number one, revolutions aren't exclusive to like post-industrial societies. Or not even that. Just revolutions are. It's just so human.
People get annoyed at leaders everywhere.
Yeah, the second the times are bad, the Uriki Mao lost the mandate of heaven, and he was supplanted. But
oh my god, I'm sorry. I've been learning a lot about Chinese history, and that's fucking got me.
mandate of heaven's a fun concept.
Oh my god, we should go sell opium to Chinese people.
Or to the Polynesians. We could do that too.
You can sell opium to just about anyone.
There's a book I read many years ago. I'd like for you to read it as well. I might have already given it to you, and it concerns the Polynesian people. I know that's a broad term. I don't really understand it. It was about a group of people who were like this, I guess, tribe on this set of islands, and it talked about, it was like from the perspective of 3 generations, and one was like a child, adult, and died, but it was about the Japanese coming to this island, taking it over, setting up a camp and everything, kind of leaving him alone, but not really, but kind of leaving him alone, and then they fucked off and left. The Americans came, left him alone, sort of, kind of, not really, then fucked off. And then a nuke dropped, because this is the story of the island surrounding, like, Bikini Atoll and all that, and it's just taken from the perspective of these indigenous people, and I'm sure it's pure fantasy, but I think you would like that book. If anyone here can remember the name of that book, I don't know what it's called.
Well, cargo cults are interesting, but I've never read a book specifically about it. But yeah, no, they, I know famously, like, one of them built an effigy of a plane, and I'm not sure if these guys are Polynesian, although the Polynesians were essentially just Pacific Islanders, and Polynesians are one and the same. They just, so this is a topic of contention, because there's this thing where, like, if you were victims of colonization, it is then politically advantageous. I'm not saying it's like necessarily a lie, but it's just it's politically advantageous to say we have been here for 10,000 years, even if that is just not the case. Like the Apache are a good example. Obviously, the Aztec never even had a chance to pull this card.
It's like a cultural social defense almost.
Well, yeah. I mean,
in a political context, of course, you know.
but like if you're doing a land acknowledgement, it's silly if you're doing a land acknowledgement for people that only got there in 1400 or whatever, because then it's like they didn't do land acknowledgements. You know, that's the typical genocide apologist argument. It's one thing to beat people, and it's another to try to completely change their way of life, and you know all that stuff. But
No, all this
but
Indian
Polynesians
schools are a
like
good thing. Yeah.
Hawaii. I'm gonna put in the exact year here, but like Hawaii wasn't. Humans didn't find Hawaii until like 100 years before Europeans got there.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, it's all the Pacific Islands because they are so fucking remote. It's incredible that there were people there at all when Europeans got there. The Falklands, they were completely unpopulated, but I think it's because the seas in that area are so fucking rough, and also because like it's, I don't know. But
Remind me again, the Falklands, is that in the Pacific? I don't know why I'm getting confused with somewhere else. That's like South America, right?
the Falklands are
Like
it's
Tierra del Fuego.
it's off the coast. Yeah, no, right off the coast of Argentina and Antarctica.
Okay, yeah.
Right now, it's just like 30 Englishmen and some sheep. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's one of those. That's like you remember well, you wouldn't remember, but the Falklands War.
I saw a video about it, but tell me about it.
Well, it's you know the British claimed it, and there is a British population there, and unlike a lot of British colonization, there's no one there to really fuck with that claim. You don't got to do a land acknowledgement. No one fucking lived there, and so like they're particularly justified when Argentina attempted to annex the Falklands. You know, it's like there's just no. You know, they didn't massacre any indigenous people there to take it.
I'm just picturing like some bushy eyebrows in the mid 80s. Well, this was like Thatcher's era too, wasn't it?
This was Thatcher, yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently, it gave her a big, how do you put it? Boost in popularity. The Iron Woman wolf.
God, there's so many weird tiny wars in South America in the 80s. Like, what was that one America did? Oh my God, it was like a week long. It was somewhere in the Caribbean. Grenada. Yeah, that's what it was. I don't know. I don't understand the history of political philosophy that well, but I can understand want and need pretty well. And I struggle to understand why it's necessary to hold on to these places like that. Like, I understand from a 1980s, we barely have a grip on what the world's going to look like right now. Technology is changing at an advanced rate. People and cultures are changing at an advanced rate, you know, and we need to maintain supply lines, Suez Canal and all that, right? I just, why the fuck Grenada? Why the fuck Grenada, man?
Dominoes. The whole like, I'm assuming, and I'll look it up to make sure, but I'm assuming there was a communist regime, and America said no, sir.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And also because they were like, well, it'll be easy.
I think I just
and we
wanted
were
to
still
not be
upset
that.
about Vietnam. We're still upset about Vietnam.
Yeah, sometimes I want it to be a little, I want more depth to it. And sometimes it's just that simple.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, reading about a lot of this stuff, it does just come down to appetites, and that's what I'm always yelling about. But, I mean...
Like, Americans protecting their assets in foreign countries and invading that country and causing a regime change or something.
Yeah,
I expect
it's
that.
interesting to say, like, I don't know if there were assets in Grenada. I don't know shit about
Were there
Grenada.
bananas there?
Huh?
Are there bananas there? Because it's fucking ours if there are. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
Done.
God, I'm exhausted. Shit, maybe I should have asked you to come over, actually.
No, it's okay. Let's take a break for a second, man. Let's pause it.
Check.
My
Okay, so we
balls.
were just talking about Mad Magazine. How I read it nonstop growing up, and I had several like books of Mad Magazine. I still have one. It's Mad for Decades, and I submitted my photo for the Alfred E. Newman lookalike contest many times, easily a dozen times, and I was never selected, even though I did look like Alfred E. Newman, and I'm still frankly a little upset about it. I think there was nepotism at play.
I'm like looking at you and I'm seeing your face kind of morph into him a little bit. I'm seeing like turns into those.
All right,
weird
now my feelings are hurt. My face did look like Alfred E. Newman.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I love Bastards, man.
But I don't know. I guess maybe
The first.
No, even the nose, like it's not. I don't know. I should have gotten it. My hair was perfect for that because I always just had a big head of red hair, so
Dude, your hair's gotten like darker as time's gone on too, you know?
yeah, it sort of makes me sad. Although I definitely wanted it when I was a kid. It was like orange, man.
Whenever speaking about Mad, whenever I was younger, there was this store called Hastings, and if anyone remembers Hastings, you know the sadness. But I got a Mad magazine there one time many years ago in like Lake Jackson, Texas, if I remember correctly, and I just remember it was all about not Mad. It was all about Mad Men. The whole like magazine was about Mad Men, and I had never seen Mad Men. You had at the time and told me about it, but it's just like every other frame of it, like they're doing like the bit in the cartoon and everything. There's just another cigarette or a dozen cigarettes added into every orifice in their body, like from one cell to the next cell. There's like 15 cigarettes in their mouth and ears. Like,
That's not bad.
honestly, man, I don't know. I like satire. I love satire magazines, man. It's just the Onion's coming back, but I don't know. I just feel like satire is something that feels harder and harder to enjoy as time goes by because I'm getting older and feeling serious. Like everything matters when it really doesn't, you know.
Well, I mean, I would just say that Mad magazine was. I mean, there's a reason I read it from the time when I was like, I don't know, 10 to 14. Like that's just sort of the target demo. Like, I did actually recently take the Mad for Decades off the shelf and flip through it. It is an interesting, like, cultural relic, because there's, like, their parody of Jaws and shit like that. But it's just not funny at all, for the most part.
By the way, we passed, I was on Netflix with my girlfriend last night. We glazed over Jaws, right? And she's like, oh, Shark, let's watch Shark movie. I was like, what movie? And it's like, Shark. And she didn't realize the title is right there. The title says Jaws.
Yes.
And she thinks the movie is called Shark. And I like, after a while, like I take it off the screen. I was like, hey, what's that movie called? Shark.
Has she seen it?
No. No, I'm dating a golden retriever, man.
Shark.
God, dude, she's pretty weird, man. I don't know. Like, she's the kind of person who would point out bad practical effects in a movie. Which probably, yeah. See that grimace you just made? Yeah,
Yeah, well, that would be tedious watching Jaws with her for that reason, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. God. Also,
I feel like even bad practical effects, unless it's like actively taking you out, now it's just like charming, if anything. I don't know. It doesn't upset me. Bless you. Like, I don't know. I think probably the only example that really bothers me is the one in Terminator. But even that, it's like that movie is so fucking 80s now. You remember when it's like Arnold is doing his self-repair thing, and you just see a big like animatronic Disneyland?
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah, that's it. He's just, God, I remember the blueness and the ghoulishness of the skin as he's like tearing it off and everything. I remember that specifically.
Well, it's just interesting because like it'll go from like half decent, like I don't know. Like at one point you see his arm and he like presses his scalpel into it and the blood goes out and it looks pretty cool and like I don't know. I don't know how that's supposed to look, but you can't prove that I do. I'm under investigation for some things, Wolf.
What kinds of things?
Don't worry about that.
I feel like you should. I'm at this desk too.
It takes me out of movies. Like I'll hear a woman scream and I'm like, that's not the way they sound when they really know the end is coming at them.
Mm-hmm.
When the angel of death is descending upon them like
The
a hawk
Wilhelm
onto
scream.
a mouse.
You know what's funny is that like I love you to death. You're edgy as fuck, man. You got to get into 40K. Get into 40K, man. Just do it.
I like to think I'm smart though.
Buy
so-
$1,000 worth of minifigs, man. It's like 10 of them. Just buy them, man.
Why? What the fuck? Go spend a bunch of money on something I don't want?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say toys. If people like it, like good for them, whatever. But I don't like it.
Get into the grim darkness of the future, you know? Get into that. Why not?
He's always trying to get me to enjoy these things. Anime and 40K. And I hate all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I hate 40K. I watched that secret level.
Secret level.
Extra level.
Yeah.
That was fun. But also it's like, I don't know who any of these guys are and I don't care about them. It's
You
just
don't
like,
really need to. That's kind of the thing I love about 40K is that like I don't play the game. I've only read a couple of the 500 books.
well, what do I
And,
like about history, Wolf?
The fact that it happened, I don't know. What do you like about history? I don't fucking know.
How is this not the people, the way people are shaped by it,
You
the
tell
way
me
that people
stories.
shape it.
You tell me stories, and then I see your soul in turmoil. I don't know what you like about it. I have no idea.
Well, maybe like isn't even the right word. Fascinate, maybe fixate, even. But it's all happening to people. You know, people are being shaped, and like they're finding themselves caught in these grand machines, and they don't understand how big they are. They don't even understand really their own story when they write it down, and that's partially what the intro to the second Apache video is going to be about, is that Herman Lehman guy I'm always talking about.
Yeah.
I'm finally getting that out of my system. But I like the individual. I like primary sources. I like the individual. I don't like grand histories, like, and then this empire destroyed this empire in the battle of this, like, and that's never really what's clicked with me. So I don't want to read a fucking historical. It also might be my age. Like, I feel sillier and sillier learning about fictional worlds when I could just be learning about the real one. And it's not to say, like, I read Lord of the Rings for the first time this past summer, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm above fantasy or science fiction or anything, but, like, that was a wonderful story about individuals themselves in the grand machine and trying to figure it out. Like, what's a famous Warhammer character?
The Emperor, Titus, if you're into the games. Oh my God, Commander Yarick. My God, I can't remember the name of. He's the leader of the War of the Beast. I can't remember him right now. Let's see. There's Malkador. There's. Honestly, I could just start naming Primarchs, but that's just like it's not. What makes the series fun for me is not learning everything about it. I find that just tedious and unfun. What I like about it is that real world history seems a bit too. I don't know, for lack of word, boring.
It doesn't. Real history, and this is always my problem with videos, it doesn't abide by traditional story structure.
Well, it's just
it doesn't abide by the hero. Like, Herman Lehman didn't have a hero's journey, right? He was a little boy, and he got taken by the Apache, and then a bunch of horrible shit happened to him, and then he got returned. Like, you know, it's so it doesn't scratch that part of our brains that likes stories. But, you know, I'm not trying to, like, say it's silly to enjoy fictional worlds or whatever. But
oh, I totally think it is, but honestly,
you're
like,
telling me to fucking watch this shit.
Yeah, what's wrong with being silly, you know? Like, technically it's silly to make YouTube videos instead of being a professor, but realistically, I think you're better at making YouTube videos than being some dried up professor in some loser town somewhere else. You're talking about the things that are valuable to you and other people. You're not commanded by a structure that's higher than you. There is no hierarchy for you other than making sure you don't get banned. That is your hierarchy. So, like, in that way, you know, it's relative. It's relative, the silliness of it all, you know? Like, this whole pedigree, collegiate bullshit and all that, you know, it's up to the individual.
Oh, I thought of a possible future path. Because it's like, at this point, like, YouTube, it just has a shelf life. I don't know how long I'll be able to do it. I love doing it, but it's just the way it works. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast or if I didn't release that one, like Books by the Sea or some shit. Like a bookstore where I measure skulls. Like, have a bunch of artifacts or whatever, which is just not realistic at all. It sounds nice, but it's just not really feasible. I think working at a national park would honestly be a pretty good job.
I was just the one this weekend, man.
One you could do with a history degree.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran. Yeah, I think that would be a good one.
You could afford to do that. You have, like, the GI stuff and all that. Like, they don't get paid for shit. They do it because they love it.
That's exactly the thing, is I think I would love it.
Oh, yeah, do that, man. That's one of my retirement jobs, being a park ranger. Because all that shit's second nature to me. Just being in parks and all that, being a Boy Scout.
Well, I'm still determining how much I like it. It is really nice. Just the tent that I have is, there's no, like, it's like a mesh ceiling on it. Mm-hmm. So, like, you're still under the stars, and it's really nice. Man, the moon was so fucking bright. It was bizarre how you could see everything crystal clear. It was like I considered putting the roof of the tent on because it was so fucking bright. I don't know. But it's Man, there's something about it that feels sort of mystical. Spooky, but the right amount of spooky. Just being in the middle of fucking nowhere. But yeah, no, history degree. Veteran. I won't have a bunch of debt. Yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of... That sounds really ideal. This is the kind of things most people get in their 50s. Setting yourself up to do that even earlier is not a bad idea, honestly.
You say that, like, retirement plan, that sounds like a hard job to do if you're an old man.
I mean, kinda. I mean, like, you might have to move some heavy things, but everyone, eventually, their bodies become weak and can't work, and everyone does that.
Well, not me, though. I'm built different.
Like the hardest thing you have to do is,
You want to see how many tricep dips I can do? I'm now doing 3 sets of 10. When I first got to 280-something fucking pounds, I was like, what if I can never do that many ever again? Mm-hmm. And I did 3 sets of 8 to start on push day. I do 3 sets of 10 now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So what I'm saying is that time isn't real. People just give up, and they're weak. And I'm not like that. Mm-hmm. I'm simply unstoppable.
I convince myself of that when I'm in the gym.
I drank a Celsius, and what was that powder? Jack 3D, jacked. Apparently, like, there was an ingredient in the original formula that was made illegal or some shit. I don't know. I haven't taken pre-workout in forever, man. But yeah, no, C4 is a good one.
Oh,
Makes you feel like your skin is burning.
Beta-alanine. I love beta-alanine. I used to take that stuff just on its own, no caffeine. I just love the skin crawl. I want to feel like there's spiders in my flesh, you know? Like, it's a good feeling. I just like that. I remember the first time it happened to me, I thought I was having a heart attack, though. I almost went to go see a doctor.
No, honestly, my reaction was like, this is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I wasn't
healthy. It's probably not good.
I'm going to guess you weren't healthy at the time either, whenever you were taking C4. Because I wasn't. And I was like, oh, hey, is everything okay if I feel this way? Yeah, C4. Yeah? Okay, never mind.
No, I was doing all right. Now I'm sort of debating starting it again. Because, like, you really will get... But the problem is, like, all things, you just adjust to it. So after, but then you get 2 weeks of incredible fucking workouts.
Dude, man, when I first moved here and I was living on my own, I was going full monk mode, man. It was just like I was responsible enough to the point where, like, I stopped taking pre-workout and I started taking, like, all the nutrients and all the things and biotics and all that, what's it called? Supplements that I needed while I was dieting, right? Like, I started separating caffeine from this and that. It's hard to explain, but, like, I was really into protocoling at the time. But then, like, I started, like...
What is that?
Just making sure that you have the right things at the right time and when you need to have them, you know? Like, do you need to have this meal at this time, at this far after?
What he's describing is an American Psycho routine.
I mean, I don't iron my bed,
you
to clarify.
Put on hardcore pornography while you do 100 stomach crunches.
The most psychotic thing I've ever done was for maybe 8 months, I would wake up every morning to, like, 2 cups of raw oats, a cup of milk, like, 1/3 of a cup of honey, bunch of other random shit and chia seeds I would throw into a blender, a bag of frozen fruit because that's all I could afford, and I would just blend that shit and drink it in one go. That was the most psychotic shit I ever
My
did.
name is Patrick Bateman. I live at 13,000 Wall Street Avenue.
I'm just trying to be healthy.
And every morning I wake up at exactly 7:30, apply a cleansing facial mask, and then I go shit out 10 pounds of raw oats.
Okay, the shits after raw oats, they're fucking abysmal, man. The shit that will happen to you will fucking make you remember. Like, I watch All Quiet on the Western Front to remember what those bathroom trips were like. They were bad, man.
Man, what I've been doing a lot, because, like, it's, this entire past year has just been, like, trying to recover from, like, my year of substance abuse, and I'm absolutely ordering a pizza today, so that's not good. But in general, the oats and protein powder and beans and shit.
The double workouts, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon.
What does that have to do with saving money? Yes, but what does that have to do with saving money?
I was so bored and I couldn't afford to do anything. The reason I didn't go fucking crazy at month 4 was because you gave me a PS4 that was, like, dying, and I started learning how to play Fortnite, and I got back into gaming again, and, like, genuinely that was a crazy help to my psyche, was doing something that wasn't just working out and dealing with my shit at the time, you know, like.
Man, I'm glad to have helped you. Yeah, sorry, continue.
No, it's just that I don't want to downplay it. It genuinely was. It's crazy how much a little thing can set you in a more positive direction.
Woof. Gaming is never a little thing.
I'm just saying, like, I believe in the positivity of gaming, man. Like, seriously, like, I mean, you're living on your own in a city. Like, I was a college dropout, and I decided to go back. Like, I felt like a fucking loser. Like, I'm an alcoholic. I'm smoking too much. All these things that are piling all together, right? And then just like a few months of working out, getting into Fortnite, of all things, getting into Fortnite, and I don't know. Oh yeah, and watching all of Dragon Ball Z. Just off rip, just all of Dragon Ball Z. That shit recovered me better than there. I dropped 60 pounds. I can lift twice what I used to be able to, man. It helped me. It got me where I needed to be. Also, Goku's a terrible parent. He's a bad parent. It took me that much time to know that.
We are now doing Andrew Huberman shit. This is now a self-help podcast. If you want to get your tricep dips up, if you want to be losing weight, lifting heavy, what you got to do is you got to watch Dragon Ball Z, play Fortnite, and shit out 10 pounds of raw oats first thing.
It was 2 cups, okay?
That's a lot.
I know it's
That's a lot of fucking oats.
It was an entire blender, like in a whole blender. I just pound that shit. I told you about the rice incident, right?
Oh yeah, where you used rice instead.
Yeah, I used cooked rice because I had a bunch of cooked rice everywhere instead of the oats, and it turned the slush into mochi, and it was like thick, like concrete. I could feel every lump going down my throat as I tried to drink it. Like it sat like a stone in my stomach, man. Oh, it was like a war zone in that toilet, man. Oh god, dude. Pop open the YouTube homepage.
Huh?
Pop open the YouTube homepage.
Sure.
Also, I was just recently thinking about, like, I don't know why Asmongold, because I saw a picture of him for whatever, and I was thinking about Cahokia and the Birdman and their harems that buried and all that.
What the fuck does that have to do with Asmongold? This is my understanding. Asmongold is a WoW gremlin?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. What does that have to do with
I don't know. I just saw a picture of him, and I've heard him, like, talk and speak before, so I know what his cadence is, and I was just imagining him, like, buried in a mound, right, with just, like, hundreds of Uber Eats orders, all uneaten, all around him.
this pharaoh burial?
There's, like, a sword of the Lich King in the background as well. Like, to clarify, I don't think he is a god king. I just think it's really funny to imagine him, like, mummified.
That is his deepest desire. I mean, if he were a god king, it would just be Uber Eats and I don't even know what the fuck, WoW Gold.
I know I'm like this, I'm just a guy just talking into a mic, right? But I think it's so funny how much people like these weird looking people, you know? And I don't mean looking, weird acting too. Just like weird, political, angry all the time, empathetic to nothing unto themselves. Like it's but themselves, and it's just, why do people like these guys?
I've never understood the appeal of streaming in general.
Not even just streaming, just the characters.
I was like coming back from the gym, and so I don't even work out at the gym. What I do is I go to the gym because I want to use someone else's toilet so I can shit out my 2 cups of raw.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry. Where was I? I was coming back from the gym, and it was NPR was on, and it had like Hassan on there talking about free speech and shit. It was just bizarre.
In the same room?
No, it was like digital, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, no, it's just in general, like they completely interviewed him, and they were like, tell us why what you do matters. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And I just have an incredibly low opinion of all streamers, I guess, particularly political ones. Like, I don't know. Like, if you want to make political change, I would think the path is still organizing and not watching someone else's videos and reacting. Like, Hassan once watched one of my videos, and it was my top 5 failures of the CIA one. And, man, I would do that video so much fucking better now. But I've told you about this, right? And I was like, he's not reacting to it very much. He's not reacting at all, not looking at it, one could even say.
Just eating sweet green the whole fucking time.
and I was like, I'm going to skip to the cat thing. Because the cat thing, it's not exactly esoteric knowledge, but he may not know about that. Like, obviously, the guy knows about, like, the missile gap or whatever. And I was like, the Acoustic Kitty project, like, he'll probably get a good laugh out of it. I skipped to that section, and he wasn't in the chair. He was just somewhere else the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also... This is a completely different, and this does not bother me nearly as much. But it was a woman on the Destiny podcast. I guess he does a podcast with her. And unlike this podcast, which is just God tier. Because I just don't bother filming a video component.
We fucking tried.
But she had Flint Dibble and Minuteman on there. And I respect both of those guys. I know both of those guys.
I like Minuteman. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Flint Dibble is an actual archaeologist. And she brought up my Mad God of the Yucatan video. And like most of my videos, to be clear, I am reducing complicated history. Like, I learn more about them than I communicate in the video, because like it's just that the stories don't map onto clean narratives, right? The narrative structure that we all like.
You'd be reading.
And I am a YouTuber, and I'm I learned more than the Wikipedia, but I'm doing, if anything, a Wikipedia-like thing where I'm distilling these very complicated events.
That's what I'm saying, though. You're not reading off of an old book like this boring old lore thing. No. You're extrapolating. You're reducing. You're adding to it. You're adding value to it by doing that. You know, you're not just reading off an old manuscript, because that would be the truest form, is reading a primary source. Who would listen to that?
Well, I wouldn't. The point that I try to do is, like, I want to get people to read about these things themselves.
Yeah.
So that, because I will do actual source discussion, so it's above most pop history, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with pop history. I like watching silly videos about, like, whatever, you know. But
what did they bring up?
But the point that I'm trying to make, no, it's like Mad God of the Yucatan is, because I really went for it. That was genuinely really good history, where I did not, because I just focused on this one man and this one summer, really. Like, I could really luxuriate in the details, and I got into like the theological and political and cultural reasons why he did what he did. And that is, out of all my videos, I think the one that I'm most proud of, not as like a video creator, but as a historian. And she did not remember Diego de Londa's name. It's a 2-hour-long video about one guy, and she didn't say his name. She couldn't remember. And she did not describe properly. And basically what she said is it true? I watched this video, and is it true that the Mayans that the Spaniards burned Mayan, I think she might have said the word books too, which is that's being pedantic. But it doesn't matter. Did they really burn Maya codices? And he was like, I don't know much about that period in time, but I believe yes. Which is, anyone with even a passing knowledge of the Spanish Empire knows that they destroyed all sorts of pre-Columbian artifacts. Like, it's just... And then it was like, okay, so DJ Peach Cobbler was right, everyone, if you were worried. Essentially, it was like this impression that I had to be... I know more about that than Flint Dibble. I know more about that event than anyone in that room.
She asked Flint.
0.001% of people on Earth I know about that shit. Like, and that's not... Like, it's a very specific historical event.
Yes.
That I really dedicated myself to. And it's very frustrating hearing someone that, admittedly, he said, I don't know a lot about it, which is fine. Flint Dibble is not obligated to know a lot about Diego de Londa and the Inquisition of the Maya. But, like, it really just drove me up the wall. Like, why the fuck? And it wasn't that specifically. It did upset me. What upset me was that I got a bunch of people in my fucking Reddit and shit. And they were like, isn't this exciting? Don't you feel honored to be talked about on the Destiny podcast? To be not properly described on the Destiny podcast. It just drove me up the fucking wall. And Destiny fans, I think, are the worst out of all political streamers, because they think he's really something special.
I'll be real with you. I don't know who this is.
Another political
I thought
streamer.
this was a girl this whole time, if I'm being real with you.
No, well, the girl is like, she's with him on the podcast.
Pull up a photo of these two. I want to see them. Yeah,
I don't know. He just looks like a typical streamer gremlin. He's not hot, which at least Hassan is hot. If I was hotter, I'd be on NPR.
Right up there with Michael.
Yeah, when I first started hearing about this guy, I always thought they were talking about the game. Wow, he looks so serious. Bo Burnham phenotype. The blue hair.
I'm sorry, the blue hair and the tagline, why I engage with extremists, is hilarious. Oh,
Has
fuck,
been
he's got the
banned
Reddit hat. He's got the Redditor hat, bro.
He got banned off Kick for hate speech and demonetized on X. No, maybe he is based.
Crazy to do that on X, of all things, at this point.
I mean, I got banned off fucking X. But granted...
What did you say that got you banned off of X?
I don't want to say it on here because I'm worried we'll get banned off YouTube.
I know!
I do feel bad about what I said, honestly. It was... it doesn't matter. I still would approach the internet, and that is something that I should have stopped. I would approach the internet like I was on 4chan dicking around, because I spent a lot of time on 4chan dicking around. But it is like a certain point I could be telling some 15-year-old that likes my stuff that they're a fucking idiot or something, and that's not nice. When I'm anonymous on the internet, that's okay, because it's like, who cares? When you're anonymous on the internet, you and everyone you're talking to, they're all fat neats. Like, regardless of whether or not that's true, in your head, that's who you're a loser, they're a loser. Everyone is on equal ground.
Except for our listeners who are ripped, based, and go to the gym every day, right? Every
They
last
go
one
to
of
the
them.
gym and they stretch that sphincter.
They max out every single day.
Calls for imprisonment for incitement to violence. Okay, what did he say?
I'm pure
Privacy
violent.
Badger tried to stop the truth. Destiny refuses to condemn Charlie. He would not condemn the assassination of Charlie Kirk, insisting he won't do so until Trump publicly calls for calm. Why is he negotiating with the president? I understand that he's Trump, so I'm not going to act like there's decorum here.
Yeah.
But, like, still, it's like, once the president meets my demands, like, it's... I think it's bad that the guy that was talking got shot in the throat. And I really don't think it's that complicated. Need to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so they can look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. He's also just so clearly buzzing on Adderall constantly. Adderall! And it just drives me insane. In general, I can't watch anyone on the internet that's clearly on Adderall.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was one of the things I was abusing so much, and I recognize it.
Oh,
And
there you
it
go.
destroys your ability to reflect on your own thoughts. Like, I know that, like, I'm... what is the word? Where, like, I can't move. I don't know. I'm plagued by self-doubt too much. But when you... And that's why I've used amphetamine so much, is that will steadily reduce your self-doubt the more you up the dosage. But you need self-doubt. If you don't have self-doubt, you can convince idiots that you're really smart and you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because you would call me at like 11 p.m. at night and just saying the most dumbass shit sometimes, man. You'd tell me about like, going the weirdest tangents about shit, and I would just be like, okay, man. Okay.
When did this happen?
I don't know, back whenever you were using Adderall and whatnot. Just like, it was, I don't even remember what the points were about. But it would just be like a long... It would be like 10 tangents in one sentence. And I was like, hey, man, later on, man. Just tell me about this later. And I didn't understand your struggle at the time because I was just unaware of it. But now I understand.
No, I'm sorry. That was...
I remember there was a really, really brief time whenever the old job I used to have, it was a quota-based repair company and all that, you know, and there was a lot of speed abusers there.
Yeah,
and, but it's not like you're run-of-the-mill, like, 20-year-old, like, expected, like, white guy, right? That's what I see when I see a speed abuser, right? It was mostly older people, like, in their 40s and 50s. Yeah, just everyone, black, white, Vietnamese, just that was basically everyone there. And not a lot of Latinos there. I just realized that in retrospect. I think it's because, like, they asked me a lot, hey, do you speak Vietnamese? Hey, do you speak Vietnamese? In the hiring process. Because I think they wanted me to be a manager at one point. But all the same, yeah, there was just a lot of speed abuse because, like, if you didn't make your quota in time, you know, that's a reason to get rid of you. You know, and, like, that was just the way it was there.
That was what really... Not only did abusing speed make me a worse YouTuber... the historically, some of my best stuff also was the Aztec project, but I used AI generated images, and it still drives me insane that I did that.
I don't understand
still
why.
That I put it was stupid because I was abusing speed and my judgment was not sound.
Yeah.
And it fucking kills me that I did that,
This
man.
is my issue with online creators, right? There are people who are so committed to their art and their ideas and philosophy, like you, they will beat themselves up years after the fact for using a cost-cutting measure, right? And then you'll have these fucking, like, ghoul slot factories come out with all this fucking bullshit everywhere. And it's like, I don't want you to feel bad. I want them to feel bad. But realistically, everyone has to in the first place. So it's, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with using AI-generated images. I don't really see the issue with it.
I didn't just I took them and used them as backdrops for my actual Pi characters. And, you know, it was very much like, if there's a place to use it, it was more legitimate there. Because I didn't have money, and I still don't have money to hire artists to make a million backgrounds. the lack of good backgrounds is just awful. But also, as far as like where AI is able to do things, generative AI, maybe it's changed, I really doubt it, cannot do Aztec shit. And it doesn't need to be strictly historically accurate, but it needs to not look like a fucking cartoon.
Does it always
It
look
needs
like
to
a-
not be like a 30-tiered pyramid that doesn't look right, and you can just look at it and inherently, it looks like it would make Aztec warriors, quote unquote, and they don't need to be like completely accurate, but they need to not look like a football mascot.
The podcast just sort of tapers out here. We both just like started generating shitty looking Aztec AI images. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry I was so low energy. New video soon.
It's been a good pod. Thank you for listening to the Yeehaw Gaming Podcast.
Yeah, thank you for that.